Spielvogel and myself. Takes two, so there are two of us here. We always start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'd ask that you remain standing for a moment of silence. Our treasurer, Mr. Rapone, is with us. Rich, would you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you please remain standing, we'll have a brief moment of silence. Thank you all. Vanessa, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Spielvogel? Here. Commissioner Vogler?
Here. We have a quorum. Everyone in the audience right now is on the agenda, but I should note for the record that we do have two opportunities for public comment. One in just a few moments, and then one before we adjourn the meeting. And we welcome people's comments. We ask that they be related to county government matters, and that they try to limit themselves to around 5 minutes if that's possible. We appreciate that. Under the next item, row officer reports and comments, we do have our treasurer, Mr. Rapone, is with us. He is on the agenda later, but Rich, anything over and above what's on the agenda? No. Thank you. We'll get to you very shortly.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us. Are there any public comments this morning? Okay, hearing none. Under fiscal and contractual, pardon me, we have received three repository proposals and bids. All three of these are located in the city of Newcastle, and they've been referred to us by our tax claim bureau. As we've noted in the past, when a bid is made on a property in the repository, the bid is sent first to the municipality in which the property is located, then to the school district, and then finally to the county. In the case of these three bids, the city of Newcastle has approved acceptance of the three bids. The Newcastle area school district did not respond. So it now comes to us. We'll take these moving forward here. What would our first number be, Vanessa?
297.
297. Thank you. The first proposal, resolution 297, is for parcel number 080297000, located on West Sharp Street in the city of Newcastle. Robert DeBuono has put forth a bid of $506.26. Loretta, do you mind if I do all three, and would you be okay with a vote on all three at the end?
Okay, for that,
Okay with
yes,
you?
absolutely.
Okay, thank you. That's proposed resolution 297. Do you have any concerns on the first one?
No.
Thank you. Next is proposed resolution 298, once again in the city of Newcastle, also on West Sharp Street, parcel ID number 080785500. Robert DeBuono has made a bid on this property, again, at $506.26. And then the third and final one, proposed resolution 299. This is located on North Crawford Avenue in the city of Newcastle, parcel number 030195000. Jill Rosano has placed a $500 bid on this parcel. And again, the city council has approved acceptance of the bid. It now comes to us. So we have three proposed resolutions, 297, 298, 299. Would you be willing to make a motion to approve the three of them?
So moved.
Thank you, and I'll second. And I do apologize. I rushed through them a little quick, so I didn't give you a chance on the other two. Do you have any
Everything
concerns?
is fine.
Okay, I
No
thank you.
concerns.
I thank you for that. Moved and seconded. We'll do a quick roll call, please.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Loretta. We have one warrant register from the controller's office. dated August 11. And Loretta, I'll give you whatever time you need to look it over, and then whenever you would be ready, I could take a motion to accept this document.
I will move for its acceptance.
Thank you so much, and I will second your motion. Any concerns or questions?
No.
None for me either, so we'll do a roll call, please.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. The warrant register is accepted. The minutes of the August 15 meeting are in our packet. And again, Loretta, I'll give you whatever time you need to look it over. And then whenever you're ready, I can take a motion to adopt the minutes.
So moved.
Thank you.
I will note, we move through these because we have a very, very efficient deputy that gets everything together in order for us. She kept her head down. Yes, I'm speaking of you, Vanessa. She gets everything ready for us for review, and we do have an opportunity to review them, so.
Exactly. So we have a motion and a second. Any other comments regarding the minutes?
No.
Okay, we'll do a roll call, please.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Vanessa. And I concur with Commissioner Spielvogel.
Thank you.
We received one written document that we need to enter into the record. This is dated August 9. It is from HRG, Herbert, Roland, and Grubik. It's a firm located in Cranberry Township, Butler County. They are giving us Act 14, Act 67, Act 68, and Act 127 notification for the Kingdom Place subdivision located in Hickory Township. The company that is the applicant is known as Metro Vitalization. Project location is 1700 Harlansburg Road, Hickory Township. And the project description: the project proposes a new subdivision consisting of 25 one-acre lots for single-family homes and an additional 1-acre lot for stormwater management BMPs, a looped public road, and associated utilities. And as we've noted in the past, we receive these documents according to law. We are required to be notified, but we have no real authority or jurisdiction over this. It's just a matter that we are obligated to be notified by the applicant. We can then enter it into the record. Questions, Loretta?
No.
Okay, thank you. Would you be willing to make a motion to accept this document?
So moved.
Thank you, and I'll second. And if there is no other discussion, we can take a roll call to accept it.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you so much. Commissioner reports and comments. Loretta, you're on deck first today.
Okay, I am on deck first today. I have to say, just a few short things that, last week, I know you and I and many of us in this room were at the fair. It was a success, a couple of rain days, but I don't think enough to disturb the entire event. Very well attended the nights that I was there, and I got my share of fair food, as I like to say, but totally enjoyable, tis the season for that. But it was a nice event to be there. I always enjoy going out. We also had the opportunity, Dan and I'll just speak briefly. We were at Blair Strip Steel's 100-year anniversary. They celebrated this weekend at Cascade Park. Very nice event. We have so many corporations, places of business in Lawrence County that are here, that have been here. Not that they go unnoticed, but maybe not recognized as much as they should be. And I am glad that we had the opportunity to be there. I'm glad that I was able to look up some history on the business and just very glad that they are here, and they're planning on remaining here and staying here and continue to do their work. That was a couple of things that I wanted to say, but I also wanted to note that if it's okay with you, that we discuss the email that we received
Please.
from Neshannock Township on a positive note on I want to say, economic development note, construction note. We have been asked by Neshannock Township, and we've been in different types of meetings in different situations. And we're always looking to work with our municipalities to do different things. That Neshannock Township put in for a grant concerning the widening of 422 at King's Chapel. Not King's Chapel, I apologize.
Pulaski.
Yes, they're doing other work at King's Chapel, at Pulaski Road. And that intersection, pretty much, it has a lot of traffic going through it. So what they have proposed to do was the widening of that road, the installing of additional traffic signals and the like. We've been asked by Neshannock Township to help with some of the matching funds that may be needed if this grant is approved. And I know we've talked of it before. This is a formal ask of us to get something in writing, because it also helps to know when you go after a grant to have all of the entities involved, the municipality. This also involves Union Township as well, and they've signed off on it. And there's been letters of support that have been put forth by our representatives, our senators, the different local municipalities, everybody working together to try to get this grant. It is a $2.3 million grant, I believe. And the match is quite substantial. I think that as commissioners, the amount that we're asked, a $200,000 commitment for that, I believe that is something that we can do, that we should do to show the support of this project, because anything that we can do working as a unit, I think that helps Lawrence County. And I think that roadway, even though it's coming from Neshannock Township, that they're taking the initiative to do that, I think that we need to show our support. And I would be in favor of having further discussion and putting something in writing to do that, Dan. I know Brian is not here, but I think that he would be in favor of that as well.
Thank you. And I would concur. Grant and Amy can help, I think, both of us with this.
MTF.
What does that stand for?
Transportation Fund.
Okay.
Yeah.
Multimodal transport. I even brought
It's
myself some notes, and I didn't even look at them.
Yeah.
Multimodal.
It's for DCD.
Yeah.
Okay.
For DCD, yes.
And
Yes.
and I left one little part of it out when we were talking about the roads that intersect US, as Commissioner Spillwinkle said, US 422.
Mhm.
Pulaski Road
Pulaski.
is on the east side of that intersection. And then if you go to the west side, it becomes Harder-Edinburgh Road, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
All of those roads are state-maintained highways, but, and again, Amy, I'm glad you're here. The ongoing maintenance of traffic signals, though, that responsibility rests with the local municipality.
Yeah, they go to enter into an agreement with PennDOT, yeah.
But I would concur with what you're proposing, and I think what it would require then, just to formalize it, would be, as you stated, maybe at next week's meeting we can have a resolution to make it formal. But no, I would concur with what you're recommending, and I think we'd have to have some discussion, including Amy, as far as source of the funding.
Right.
Liquid fuels and or ARPA money. Perhaps, one or both, but we can talk about that. But no, I'm in accord with what you're recommending, Loretta.
And it is based on the grant getting approved.
Exactly.
So,
and the commitment from us would be the commitment of the money and then a letter of support.
a letter of
right?
support,
Yeah.
yes.
I would agree.
Yes.
I would agree with you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anything else?
That's it. Okay.
Thank you. And if you come up, if you think of anything else, just
Right.
wave and we can call on you. I do want to note, last week, and I felt bad, Commissioner Spillwinkle had a work-related conflict that she couldn't join us. But Commissioner Burek and I had the opportunity, we were invited to tour
Oh,
Camp
yes.
Allegheny, which is owned and operated by the Salvation Army. It's a 110-acre site in Wayne Township adjacent to the Slippery Rock Creek. And the Salvation Army has owned this site since the 1940s. And there is a lot there. The buildings are spectacular. The facilities are wonderful. Curiously, the sleeping quarters for any of the campers are air conditioned, which doesn't happen at too many camps. And the setting is very scenic, right along the Slippery Rock Creek. And Mr. Burek and I had the tour guide was Captain Alpin, Allpin, Captain Alpin's first name is Bramwell, which I think is a cool name. And he took us around on a golf cart. So
Nice.
We need to get you down there.
Okay.
It's really worth the
Definitely.
trip.
Yes.
They have summer camp for underprivileged youth from all over Western Pennsylvania. As far north as Erie. Kids from Newcastle have gone to the camp, Pittsburgh. And then when Brian and I were there, they were just finishing up more of a senior citizen group that had spent a few days there. But it's tucked away. It's a little difficult to get to, but it was a wonderful tour. And again, we
Did you have lunch?
we did not.
Oh.
They have a beautiful kitchen facility, but because the people there were leaving,
Oh, right,
they weren't feeding them that
right.
day.
Gotcha.
And then I'll note that later this week, all three of us
Yes.
will be attending two events on Friday of this week. The Beaver Lawrence Farm Bureau every year has a farm tour, and they alternate between the two counties. Well, this year it's Lawrence County's turn, and the tour is taking place at they call it the Legislative Farm
Right.
Tour. And they invite federal legislators, state legislators, and the commissioners from the two counties. And this year's host is the Kind Farm. That's the name of the family. And they are in Plain Grove Township. In fact, they are probably the last farm in Lawrence County if you head east. Because if you can picture where Lawrence and Mercer and Butler all come together, that little triangle, that's where their farm is located. So we'll be heading out there. But unfortunately, we can't stay for the entire time because we've also been invited to Elwood City that same morning at the Ewing Park ball fields. They are having a ceremony. They will be unveiling an historical marker recognizing a baseball player who was born in Elwood City, a fellow by the name of Hack Wilson, who played ball back in the 20s and 30s. And the Elwood City Area Historical Society is hosting this event. We've been invited to that. And then finally, on Saturday, we'll be heading down to Taylor Township.
Yes, we will.
Is it the 170th or 75th?
170.
175th anniversary of the formation of Taylor Township, which primary area is the village of West Pittsburgh. So we'll be going down there on Saturday afternoon. But I do want to thank Commissioner Spielvogel getting back to Blair Strip Steel.
Sure.
You were instrumental in having us participate in that event, and I do want to thank you for that.
No, it's wonderful to be able to do those things and just, we find out about those things in roundabout ways. So our viewing audience or anybody in the audience, if you do hear or know something that is happening or going on like that, we like to recognize them and congratulate them on staying on, being here. Any company that chooses to be here, we're lucky to have, and yeah, definitely want to celebrate them.
And you put the proclamation together, so thank you for doing
Yes.
that. I walked past your office and you were typing furiously.
There was so much that, and again, as we were speaking to the CEOs that day, the company is there, and many of you know, if you try to make the intersection at Butler Avenue and Cascade Street and Adams Street, that you see those trucks making that bend. I have the utmost respect for those truck drivers making that bend, because they make that turn and they go right into that, I call it the driveway to get into Blair Strip Steel. But as one of the CEOs said, they they don't do business with anybody in Lawrence County. A lot, their work is outsourced to other areas. And he said they're just a, that little gem in the corner there. Yeah. So we appreciate them staying.
Well, I made the comment that there are some people who say that we don't have any jobs in Lawrence County. There are some people who say that we don't make anything anymore. Well, they're wrong on both counts. There are good paying jobs in this county. Blair Strip Steel is a wonderful example of that. And they make things in that facility. So we're very blessed to have that company here. Thanks again, Loretta.
Sure.
Under new business, Amy, would you mind coming up? We have one or two, I think, items. Okay, I appreciate that very much. I'm sure you'll do a fine job. The first proposed resolution would be number 300. Thank you. This is something I believe we do every year, and this is to designate Amy, our planning director, as the fair housing officer as it relates to the CDBG program. Would you care to enlighten us?
It's just we're required by law, since we receive federal funds through HUD, which filters down to DCD, then to the county in our OBOs, to designate someone as the fair housing officer. It's always been the planning director, so every year we do this. We send out notifications, we put an ad in the paper as well, letting people know if they feel that they've been discriminated against in terms of fair housing. They're to contact me, and then I direct them how I do the best I can. So.
Thank you. Loretta, do you have any questions for Amy?
No.
This would be proposed resolution 300. If you're so willing, I could take a motion to adopt it.
So moved.
And I will second. If there are no other questions or comments, we'll do a roll call.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes?
Motion carries.
Thank you. Amy, I appreciate your helping us with this next one, number 301. This is a resolution to enter into an agreement with, I believe, is this on behalf of Lawrence County Social Services? And the agreement, if I'm reading this correctly, this is for the home program that they conduct.
Yeah, and they're going to be making an application for a new funding round. So this is just a resolution that DCD requires they submit their application.
Okay. Loretta, do you have any questions for Amy?
I do not.
Thank you.
They're asking-
Brief us on the home program.
And it's another form of housing rehab dollars that DCD has out there. LCSS has always administered it for the county. I think they're looking to ask for the same they did last year, which was around $500,000. So.
Well, thank you. I think maybe in fairness to Amy, maybe the next time we get something, and they're usually really good about having somebody here. But we kind of put you on the spot.
No,
so
that's fine.
no, we appreciate that very much. Could I have a motion for proposed resolution 301?
So moved.
I'll second. Oh, do you have any questions or
No.
concerns? I'll second. And hearing that, then we'll do a roll call, please.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Amy, anything else for us today?
No, that's all.
All right. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys, everyone.
You do the same. Thanks, Amy. Well, as we noted earlier, our county treasurer, Mr. Rapone, is with us. If you'd like to come up, please, Rich.
Absolutely.
And it's good to have you
Good
here.
morning, everybody.
This is proposed resolution 302, and we are talking about establishing the 2024 real estate tax due dates. So I'll turn it over to you.
It is that time again to start working on. I know.
Great.
Yeah, the 2024 county tax bill. First thing we need to do is have the due dates approved by the Board of Commissioners by resolution. So in front of you is the dates we propose for the regular county tax bill and then the two interim bills throughout the year.
What I'm reading is that for the regular property tax bills, and again, this is specific, the county bills that we're talking about. County
tax
property
bills,
tax
county
bills.
tax bills, yes.
Next year, the discount period will end on Friday, May 3, 2024. The end of the face period will be Friday, July 5 of 2024, and then, of course, the end of the year would be the end of the penalty period, Tuesday, December 31 of 2024.
Correct.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Rich, to the best of your knowledge, the county code stipulates, I believe, that we have to have a discount period and then a regular face period and then a
Correct.
penalty period.
Correct.
That's spelled out in state law,
Absolutely, yes, and we have to have them out by March 1st.
the bills
Okay,
themselves.
The bills by March 1st. As you know, you get them out earlier, so the revenue comes in quicker for the county.
Yeah.
Hence a smaller transit,
Yes.
if possible. Also, you have to have the 60 days in between to do, like, from the discount to the face, from the face to the penalty.
Right.
Okay, with the regular bill as well as your two interns.
Theater. And
Yes.
again, these aren't rules that
No,
Loretta and I make up or rules that you make up.
No.
These are based upon state laws.
State law.
Okay.
That's correct. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else you want to
Thank you.
share with us?
Another question, as you know in the past, that the county has approved the 211 ad on the back there. So is that something that you want to continue to have on the back of there? If not, tell me. If you want something else in that place, it's your bill.
But do you have a recommendation for us?
I don't. That's up to you. I mean, that's something, you have time to think about that. If you want to
Okay.
continue to
Right,
211,
right.
there's that space there.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm just a messenger. This is your
Sure.
bill.
Mhm.
If there's anything else,
I have no concern about it, but I think in
Okay.
fairness to Brian,
Okay.
can we
Right.
talk about it?
Absolutely.
Since you don't need to know right
No,
away.
I don't need to know that, because basically what happens is they do it like in process. Like once the tax outreach is done, okay, we choose the color. Every year, we choose a different color for a sense of reference. Once the tax outreach is done, okay, that's the back of the bill. They can go ahead and order the stock then, okay? And then where that 211 ad is, as long as you approve that, if you want something different, we have to let them know. So that's something that we're gonna need to know sooner than later. Okay, and then basically, once the file is complete, okay, then they run that through in the new year, Now, of course, the last thing we wait for is the millage, okay, but being that this is an election year, it's to my knowledge that a new board can reopen that budget, correct?
They have
Right.
that,
So
they have that
Right.
option.
they have that option,
Yes.
so we may be a couple weeks behind, that's why we're trying to get as much done as
Mhm.
possible.
Right.
So whatever resolution is agreed upon at the end of the year may not stand with the new board of
Right.
commissioners, correct?
True.
So, and I guess my question is, when is that determined? From the new board, whether they keep it or change it?
I think that, my recollection is the decision to reopen the budget has to take place very early in January.
Right.
Okay.
And for that very reason.
Because they're gonna ask me,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? So this way I can give them a time
Right.
to say, you know what, we'll have it, because I don't do anything unless I have the official resolution. But
Yeah.
every 4 years it can possibly change.
Exactly.
And everything, so,
And again, what you're referencing is true all over the Commonwealth.
yes,
Because that's state law that
Yes.
dictates that, not our rules, and the
No.
state's rules.
yeah, exactly.
Getting back to 211, I have no problem.
I don't either.
And how about if we leave it at this, since the two of us are telling you
Sure.
we have no
Okay.
objection. But can you hold off out
Oh,
of fairness for
absolutely.
Mr. Burek?
Just send me something,
Okay.
okay?
Yes.
Officially, that I
Yes.
know that that's what
We
we
will.
want. But every year, like I said, this is your bill, you may have
Right.
something else you wanna offer up, and everything. So I always like to say, I don't wanna assume that that's what you want out there.
You're right, right.
So,
Yeah, again, I think it's a good thing but out of respect for Mr. Burek, let's get his input.
Absolutely.
I suspect he'll be for it, but we'll find out.
okay, very good.
Okay. Do you have any questions for Mr. Rapone?
Nothing.
Joe?
Thank you.
Commissioner, just one change. This reads at the top, resolution number R2022.
Oh,
It would be R2023.
yes, sir. You got, boy. There you go, Joe, you're on the ball. Resolution 2023-302. Thank you for
Thank
catching
you.
that, Joe. I'm fine with moving forward with this.
Absolutely. I will move.
I thank you, and I will offer the second. And any other concerns, Loretta? Rich, anything else
No, thank
before
you.
we vote? We'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thanks,
Ronnie,
Rich.
Thank you, all
All
right,
righty.
there you go.
Great day.
You too, Rich. Thanks for coming down.
Thank you.
Our Director of Mental Health and Developmental Services, Scott Baldwin, is with us. And Scott, it looks like you have 7 proposed resolutions with
You guys doing
contract.
running a race here between these two agencies here.
And we'll go through them one by one, but I guess a question we always ask you, are they all renewals or do you have some new ones?
Well, the first 2 are amendments to the prior fiscal year, and then the rest are all renewals.
You know what, when I read through this, I did make note of that, but good to know, the rest of them are renewals. Well, let's start. Proposed resolution 303 does involve an amendment. This is with GSK Apex Enterprises. And it looks as though the original maximum had been $20,000, and you're proposing that this be adjusted to $21,000.
Yeah, this is for an individual, Gary Kinnear, who does testing for us. Unfortunately, we needed him to go to the jail for us, an individual, which took him slightly over his budget amount, but it is what it is. So we had to adjust that to get Gary taken care of. So we're looking to adjust that to $21,000.
That's certainly understandable, but let me see if Loretta has
No
any.
questions.
No questions?
No.
Do you want to do the first 2 together and then
And then
do the other 5 together? Are you okay with
I'm
that?
agreeable to that.
Okay, thank
definitely.
you.
Sure.
Resolution 304 is also an adjusted one. This is with Patches Place. The original maximum was $469,870.44. This resolution proposes an adjustment, moving that dollar figure to $472,087.44. Can you fill us in, Scott?
So, at the end of the year when we have funds, we look to support agencies with Patches Place is our drop-in center where our consumers can go and spend their day. And these dollars amounts would do a couple things. Some of it was upgrading some furnishings, but also they supply food and homeless backpacks and different things for the community. So we just supported those initiatives where they were running a little bit lower funds. And again, those are all block grant dollars. There's no cost to the county. So we supplemented them with that, and again, it took them a little bit over the original. So,
Thank you. Loretta, any concerns or questions? Loretta, would you be willing to make a motion for us to consider resolutions 303 and 304 as submitted?
So moved.
I thank you, and I will second. If there are no other concerns, I'll ask Vanessa to call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Then we're going to go to resolution 305, and as Mr. Baldwin noted, these next 5 are contract renewals. The first one is with La Casa, I hope I pronounced it right, personal care home in the city of Newcastle. Care to fill us in on this, please?
so all these renewals, these are all going to run from contract year, July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2024. These are all paid out of Human Services block grant funding, which is no cost to the county. The first one here is La Casa Personal Care Home. And it's just that, it's a personal care home where our long-term mental health consumers can live forever. And La Casa is a great partner with us. The funds that we pay for supplement their mental health services there. And we're looking for a contract amount of $75,000. And I believe we have 4 individuals that reside.
Are you agreeable?
Let's take
We'll
them
walk them through, and then at the end,
Yes.
if we're able to make a motion for all of them. Thank you, Loretta.
Sure.
Do you have any questions on this first one, Loretta?
Nothing.
Number 305.
No.
Okay, so number 306 would be a contract renewal with Lawrence County Association for Responsible Care, also located in the city of Newcastle.
Yeah, so LCRC, again, a longtime partner for our office. They do sort of a variety of services, companion care, in-home support care, they have a personal care component. Again, they're just a long-standing partner, and this is a contract amount with them for $75,000, and these are services delivered to our development.
Thank you. Questions, Loretta? Okay, thank you so much. Proposed resolution 307, a contract renewal with Northview Estates Limited Partnership, also from Newcastle, Pennsylvania.
Northview Estates is a personal care home in Newcastle. Again, they provide long-term supportive living services for consumers. We have 3 individuals there, but we could have some more if they have some availability. Getting located right in town here, and we're looking at a contract amount of $50,000.
Thank you, Scott. Questions,
Nothing.
Loretta? Okay, thank you. Number 308, Pathways of Southwestern Pennsylvania, based in Washington County.
So Pathways is, it's a services delivered to our developmental population. They do in-home community services. And these are supports that are delivered in their home for a variety of different employment. It could be shopping, skill building. And they're located in Washington, and they've been a long time provider. We're looking at a contract amount of $90,000.
Thank you, Scott. Loretta, any concerns or questions?
Nothing.
Okay, thank you. And then the final proposed resolution is 309, Whole Life Services, based in Mercer County.
Whole Life is, again, it's very similar to Pathways. These are developmental services, supports, in-home community companion services. They do respite for families to sort of give them a break if they need to go to appointments, et cetera. Located in Hermitage, and that contract amount we're looking at is $40,000.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Concerns or questions, Loretta?
Yeah.
Okay. That is the listing of proposed contract renewals. They are resolutions 305 up through and including 309. And if you're so willing, I could take a motion for all of them.
So moved.
Thank you. I will second. Any other concerns or discussion?
No.
You okay, Scott? We'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much. Scott, as always.
Thank you. Yes.
Appreciate how concise you were.
Yes.
Take care, Scott.
take care.
I know Scott was at the fair. Did you go?
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
Yes, he
good
was.
signal.
Don't step on him. There you go. Take care, Scott.
Yeah, take care.
Moving along, we have 7, I believe, if I'm counting this correctly, 7 proposals for CYS and
They're out of room.
juvenile.
Did we win?
Juvenile probation. No, we'll find out. Gentlemen, welcome. And again, you okay with walking
Yes,
through these?
sure.
And then as we go through, if you have any concerns, we'll stop them. But
Absolutely.
again, Mike Grippo and Pat Micko are here. Mike is with CYS, Children and Youth Services. And Pat is the director of the Juvenile Probation Office. And we'll start with number 310. And you're always helpful with these documents.
I mean, I will tell you, they're all renewals,
Oh, good.
and most of them are JPO only or JPO and CYS.
Gotcha.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. We'll start with number 310, Central County's Youth Center, based in Center County. Who's going to talk about that?
That's a detention center that is a fallback. We've now reached out to at least 100 miles from our location to try to contract with detention centers. And we're still not having a whole lot of luck with getting them. So it's day by day, and they won't hold a bed. So it's more that we've added almost everything with the ones that are in Philadelphia County, because they're pulling all their kids back from Texas now. So we've seen a lot of that going on. The judges did not feel comfortable about doing that.
I know
We've seen Georgia.
Commissioner Spielvogel and I have heard this from just about every other county commissioner we've spoken with. This is not a problem unique to Lawrence County. It's a problem.
And even not only just even across Pennsylvania, but across the country. Yeah, across the country, everybody's experiencing this. Crazy.
Loretta, do you have any concerns with proposed resolution 310?
No.
Okay,
No.
thank you. The next proposed resolution, number 311, is Cornell Abraxas Group of Allegheny County.
They have a number of facilities, including the secure detention center out east, and then a bunch of facilities in Washington County, the Allegheny County area, and And for us, the reason we need a contract is we have a secure fire center sex offender unit, which we currently are using, and so we need to renew the contract to continue to have that use and facility at this time.
Understood, thank you. Loretta, any questions of Mr. Mika?
No.
Okay, thank you. Next is proposed resolution 312, the Human Services Center based here in the city of Newcastle.
I will tell you that's an in-home service, and we've had the same person, which I think it's, I don't know if it's appropriate, but I'm gonna say that Joe Carnucci has been with us for many, many years and does an outstanding job for HSC for all our kids that go into placement. We're protecting that investment by wrapping it up with aftercare. So he starts working with those kids, not when they get out, but as they're removed from the home and in placement, so they can already put that patchwork in place. He's also working with kids because of the newly designated environment that we live in right now. He takes kids that are not just aftercare kids. When we need a service and can't fill a gap, we can't get a kid into MST quick enough. He fills a gap to get into those homes and work with those kids, and it's at the same rate. I mean, he takes on a max caseload for us, and that's using in-home services and using them to their max has become essential to survival without going into huge numbers and overmatch. So I'll stop there.
No, thank you. And again, just to clarify, Mr. Carnucci is an employee of the Human Services Center.
Yeah, they do a good job for us anyway. HSC does. They do a great job for us.
Loretta, do you have any questions on this proposal?
No.
Thank you. Next is proposed resolution 313. This is with the Keystone Adolescent Center, Inc., based in Mercer County.
It's a renewal on the first end. We, as of this date, don't use foster care, but me and John are talking about some creative things, and we like shelter care for people, and you be on our end too. But we use the group home part of that, and the rates change and the rates have gone up. And again, they're justifying the rates based on years, I was telling Joe, on years of not being able to get an increase through the state at that point, in not being able to hire employees. That's one of the reasons we have a shortage. You can't hire employees at this point in time, and they're closing some wings of some places because it's the climate, and it's not just here. It's everywhere, and you're seeing it out of the state of Pennsylvania and across the entire state of Pennsylvania. So, and Mike has the foster care part of that, I believe, right?
Yeah. Last 21-22, we had 7 in, and 22-23, we have 4.
Thank you both. See if Loretta has any thoughts or concerns.
No.
Okay, thank you. Pardon me, the next proposed resolution 314, this is the Outside In School of Experiential Education. That's an interesting name.
It's an awful thing.
Yeah.
Just an outside in. Yeah.
They're based in Westmoreland County. So, gentlemen, if you want to fill us in on that, please.
That's a renewal. It's also a group home that we've used on occasion, and as of last year, we've used 1 bed. Again, it's harder and harder to get beds, so you see everything come down, and the rates that they set, that we accept are based on the state-approved 4E rate should we have 4 eligible kid that goes in. So that's the rate that we've had, and unfortunately, you see some of those rates trickling up at different rates.
Thank you, Pat. Loretta,
No
concerns? Okay, thank you. And next is the Summit Schools, Inc., parentheses, Summit Academy from Butler County.
That's a renewal. That's a group home. It's actually classified when we put kids there as an in-home service. I mean, as a institutional service for us. It's a little higher level supervision. They used to take some of the kids that have more serious charges. At this point, the range you see on the top for the group home that we generally use is where it's at. It's a renewal, and when you see the 750, 42, I actually choked when I saw that come back through the sheet at one point. That's for their one-on-one shelter care facility, and what they're doing is they've capitalized off the ability to see the shortage of detention beds. So they're saying, hey, we're going to do one of Allegheny County's using them. You know, that's an option for us, somewhere down the road, if we have to, but right now we have not had to use that.
Yeah,
You know, so, but that's pretty much it. So when you see the 750, the normal, what we would normally use, and you'll see on the back page, when you see the 6 for Summit Schools, I think those are, correct me if I'm wrong, like those are placements we've had at Summit.
Right.
At the normal lower rate, not the 750 rate, not the 750 rate. I just wanted to clarify that. These are great spreadsheets. I tell you, Mike does a good job.
Absolutely.
yes,
Very helpful.
And
excellent.
like I said before, the only reason I want to put the whole rate sheet on here is because it all gets approved.
Yep.
Not saying that we use
Yeah, right.
those rates.
Right,
And when you see drug and alcohol, which their girls' drug and alcohol program won a state award last year in Allegheny County. I will say this, we're able to pull down that money from drug and alcohol as long as we get the ACM in there, so we can get that per diem picked up through that funding, rather than having to go through our 148 or even the match on the other end. So we divert all costs we can, but for the most part, it's been placed in a regular institutional setting that doesn't have drug and alcohol related issues. That's the rate you see for that.
Thank you both, gentlemen. Loretta, do you have any questions?
no,
Okay, thank you. And the final proposed resolution is number 316, Community Specialists Corporation of Allegheny County.
This is another detention, and I believe they have a step-down shelter for that. And again, we're just contracting with whoever we can. We went to the state put out a detention report, which I have in May, and it's called detention gap, and it shows the gap of the gap of usage. So we went down the line. We actually have a sheet that goes with our on-call that has all these facilities in it, and we actually categorize them in detention by rate coming down, because it's detention. It's not service, so the best rate we can get is the rate we want. So we start calling those ones first to try to get a bed. Unfortunately, we have to usually settle for the alternative, as you guys are aware, we sit on them in hotel rooms. Until we can get them.
you read my mind, and that's something that is increasing. We had it happen with CYS, and I know we just had a PO come in that you guys had to also, through juvenile probation, sit on a kid.
It's scary times, because
Yeah.
I know in another bordering county that they had a kid that committed a crime with a weapon, not using the weapon, but he had a weapon on him. And they had no other option. They sent him home to his parents. That's what happened. And God forbid that kid goes out. Allegheny County was in the news for a couple of weeks like that. And it's a, you know, Judge Ackers put that call on the weekend when we have it. He said, sit on it. And when the judge says, sit on the kid in a hotel room, guess what I'm going?
Sit on it. We've gotten those court orders.
He believes that the right thing should happen. He's not going to jeopardize community protection. And I agree with that. At times it's difficult in this environment, and I agree with it. So we just added them to the list like we did with Central County's youth renewal. Again, we keep them on contract, so we have somebody to call. Should we have to use them in the middle of the night or on the weekend?
Understood. Loretta, anything else on this last one? Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Gentlemen, we thank you both. We could, if Loretta is so willing, I could take a motion for us to approve proposed resolutions 310 up through and including 316.
So moved.
Thank you. I will second your motion and see if you have any other final questions.
No.
Thank you. I'll do a roll call, please.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Vanessa. Gentlemen, we thank you both,
Thank you.
as always.
Thank
You
you.
need somebody to sit around for the rest of it.
My standard line is you're welcome to stay, but if you have other things you have to move on to, we understand.
Thank you
both.
much. Thank you. Yes,
Have a good
definitely.
rest of the day. Next on our agenda is proposed resolution 317. This is a budget amendment. And it looks as though this is from Mental Health and Developmental Services. What we're doing here is, I'll I'll walk through this very quickly. Increasing forensic services MHDS revenue fund account by $75,550. Also then increasing salary of staff MHDS expense fund account by $21,850. Increasing the FICA expense MHDS expense fund account by $1,700. Increasing the employee insurance MHDS expense fund account by $10,000, and then finally increasing the forensic services MHDS expense fund account by $42,000. I'm guessing if you add the 4 lines of the bottom, they probably amount to the $75,550. I'm guessing. Okay, good. Joe, do you anything else you need to offer on this to your knowledge?
You know, that was the forensic grant, which required a hiring of a staff. So that's why you're basically seeing an increase in the budget, which is being set at 75. Well, what was needed was the 75,550 at this time. And then the rest is the employee who will be stationed at the jail, 3 mental health employee.
Appreciate that background. That's very helpful.
Yes.
Loretta, do you have any concerns or questions?
No.
Okay. Again, Joe, thank you so much for this information. It helps a lot. So we have this proposed resolution. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Loretta. I will second it. And if there are no other concerns, we can take a roll call.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. The one transfer request we have today comes from the Public Defender's Office. They are asking for a $60 transfer from their contingency into that of attorney fees. This is to cover unexpected attorney fees from other counties. Would you care to make a motion?
So moved.
I will second and see if you have any questions, Loretta. We'll do a roll call, please.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. I assume we'll move forward. There's a resolution on the table, but we'll leave it there unless anybody has a concern to that effect. Concluding announcements, the commissioners will meet again 1 week from today, Tuesday, August 29 at 10 a.m. It's open to the public in this room. And then we'll note in advance here that the courthouse will be closed on Monday, September 4, in observance of the Labor Day holiday. We have no members of the public in the room, but let me see if Commissioner Spielvogel has any closing comments.
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay, I thank you, and I'm in the same boat as you are, but let me make certain from Vanessa and Joe, anything we've missed or overlooked? Well, we got it under an hour today.
I'm telling you, did well.
It
Yeah.
makes up
We will now further moving forward blame Brian Parks for the meetings being as long as they are. I think we figured that out today. We did.
I'll still take part of it, maybe. But no, it's nice that boy, we've had some long ones lately.
Well, you know what, it happens sometimes, it does, and that's it, you get the work of the county done. Sometimes it's an easy week, sometimes it's a long week.
You're exactly right.
Yes.
Well, we thank everybody, and may I please have a motion then to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
I will second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye, opposed,
Aye.
the same sign. Meeting is adjourned. Joe, you don't
Thank
mind
you.
doing that? I'll give you the packet for
Thank you.
Debbie if she
Yes.
stops in.
Okay, she has a good,
Oh,
one
she-
month.